Alright. It is Wednesday, November 28, 2018 at 11:17 a.m. Let's take a look at some headlines. Alright, no sale for Australia's enormous Knickers, who is male by the way. Knickers apparently is a gigantic cow you see here in the picture. The regular cow are at least two, 2 to 3 feet below his height. Look how tall he is. Alright, Knickers looms above thousands of other cattle that he feeds with in rural Western Australia. At some 1,400 kilograms, or 6 feet 4 inches, the 7-year-old is believed to be the biggest steer in the country, home to millions of cattle, and his size has proved to be his saving grace. When owner Geoff Pearson tried to put him to auction last month, meat processors said they simply couldn't handle him, so Knickers avoided the abattoir. He will now live out the rest of his life on Lake Preston feedlot in Maylup, some 85 miles south of Perth. Knickers lives on, said Mr. Pearson, who has been fielding calls from local journalists since the Australian public broadcaster drew attention to the enormous steer, a Holstein Friesian, but significantly taller than the average for that breed. So he will live on. That is so cool that he isn't going to be put up for sale or going to be made into meat. He's going to be living on. That's pretty cool. Alright, next. Google challenged over location tracking. Google has been accused of flouting European data protection laws when it tracks user locations. A coalition of 7 consumer organizations is filing complaints with local data protection regulations over Google's tracking system. The complaints draw on research by one coalition member, which alleges people are forced to use the location system. Google said tracking was turned off by default and could be paused at any time by users. So, apparently Google is having trouble with location tracking. Recently, an article had come up that Google records all of your conversations through your phone, even if you don't want it to. So, if you look up your information with Google, they may have recordings and other information that they have stored, and you may be able to access and choose to delete. But that's pretty spooky that Google records everything through people's phones. It's basically a recording machine everywhere you go, wherever there's a phone. Alright, next. Asleep. Pilot missed destination in Australia, officials say. A small plane overshot its destination in Australia by almost 30 miles after the pilot fell asleep in the cockpit, air safety officials say. The pilot was the only person on board the flight from Devonport to King Island in Tasmania on the 8th of November. The incident, classified as a case of incapacitation, is being investigated by the Australian Transport Safety Bureau. Officials have not said how the pilot awoke before landing the plane safely. The Piper PA-31 aircraft, operated by Vortex Air, has been due to complete the 240-kilometer trip at 7:15 local time. During the cruise, the pilot fell asleep, resulting in aircraft overflying Kings Island by 46 kilometers, the ATSB said in a brief statement. And you see here the map of Kingsland and Melbourne and Devonport. That's pretty dangerous. Thank God he woke up in time. Alright, next, romaine lettuce is safe if it's not from Central California, FDA says. If you do not know where your romaine lettuce is from, do not eat it, the CDC said. Romaine lettuce is safe to eat as long as it is not from Central California, Central Coast growing region, federal health officials said late Monday. So far, an outbreak of E. coli linked to romaine lettuce has made 43 people sick in 12 states, plus another 22 in Canada, the Food and Drug Administration said. The FDA and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said they had narrowed down the suspect lettuce harvested in northern and central California. They still don't have enough information to name a specific grower or distributor, but said consumers can begin to look for the popular lettuce again. For me personally, I wouldn't eat romaine lettuce for a little bit longer, because you never know what you could get I'd wait for a little while. But if people feel like as long as it's not from Central California, they're safe to eat it, that's up to them. But me personally, I would wait a little bit. Alright, guys, that's it for the news right now. See you next time. Hit like and subscribe, and God bless. See you guys later.